Welcome back to Tech Unpacked, the podcast where we break down the future, one breakthrough at a time. I'm Jenny, excited as always to dive deep.
And I'm Mark, and let me tell you, Jenny, today's topic, it's got me buzzing. We're talking about EA's Protocol's latest move, and a name that carries some serious weight in the crypto world.
That's right, EA's Protocol, a company focused on making blockchain accessible for, believe it or not, times governments and big enterprises, just announced that Michael Terpin is joining as their chairman of the board. For anyone who's dipped their toes into crypto, that name should ring a bell. A big one. Right?
A bell? Jenny, that name is like the Liberty Bell ringing across the entire blockchain landscape. Michael Terpin, the godfather of crypto as CNBC dubbed him. This is the guy who was instrumental in launching Ethereum, Augur, Bancor. He founded the Transform Group, the largest crypto advisory firm, and BitAngels, the first crypto angel network. He even manages hundreds of millions in digital assets. His appointment is a seismic event. I mean, think about the ripple effects here.
Okay, Seismic. You're really hyped up today. But for those of us who aren't deep in the crypto trenches, why does this matter so much for EA's protocol? What problem are they even trying to solve that requires a godfather?
That's a great question, Jenny, and it gets to the core of blockchain adoption challenges, especially for big organizations. Think about it. Blockchain is powerful, right? It offers transparency, immutability, security, but it's also incredibly complex. We're talking about seed phrases, private keys, cryptographic wallets. It's a nightmare for the average user, let alone a massive government agency or a Fortune 500 company trying to onboard thousands of employees.
I can relate. I've heard horror stories, Mark, of people losing entire fortunes because they misplaced a seed phrase or messed up a transaction. Or worse, falling for some phishing scam because the interface was too confusing. It's too high stakes for something so easy to get wrong. And, frankly, it's a major barrier to wider adoption.
Exactly. The stats are pretty stark. Something like 20% of users lose assets annually due to this complexity. For enterprises, that's a non-starter. Governments need predictability and foolproof security, not a system where you can accidentally lock yourself out of billions or have a single point of failure that brings down a critical service. It just doesn't work for their operational needs.
So how does EA's protocol tackle this daunting hurdle? What's their magic trick to make blockchain? Well, time easy?
This is where it gets really exciting. EA's protocol has a patented single sign-on, or SSO, authentication system. They're basically getting rid of seed phrases and private keys entirely. Instead, they use biometrics and behavioral authentication. Think Face ID or fingerprint scans, just like you use for your banking apps or unlocking your phone. It's a familiar experience, but for blockchain.
Wait, so it's like a password-like experience for blockchain? It feels like a big step for accessibility. But what about security? Doesn't the whole point of crypto revolve around those complex keys and the user having full control over them?
That's the genius of it. They maintain end-to-end encryption and use zero-knowledge proofs. So you get the Web 2 level of ease, but with Web 3 security. It's a hybrid architecture designed specifically to meet compliance demands for audits and ID checks, which is crucial for governments. It's all about balance, Jenny. It's about not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, if you will.
So they're sacrificing some decentralization for usability and compliance? Because, the purest form of crypto is often about maximum decentralization.
They're creating a system that times works for a different set of needs. They understand that a government isn't going to adopt a protocol that they can't audit, or that forces them to retrain an entire workforce on crypto fundamentals, or that can't easily integrate with their existing legacy systems. EAS is also built with enterprise-grade interoperability, meaning it can talk to different blockchains like Ethereum, Hyperledger, and Corda seamlessly. It's about unified governance and compliance across disparate networks, which is a huge headache for large organizations trying to experiment with blockchain.
That makes sense. It's not about replacing Web3 in its most decentralized form, but making it palatable for the traditional, heavily regulated world. And Michael Terpin's role here? It bridges the credibility gap, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Douglas Horne, the CEO of EA's protocol, basically said that Terpin's legendary experience and connections align perfectly with their vision. He's not just a figurehead. He's a strategic force. His presence alone could open doors to partnerships and investments that might otherwise be, impossible for a newer protocol.
I can see that. When the godfather of crypto says a project is innovative, people listen. Okay, shifting gears a bit. I saw something in the research about exponential liquidity. It sounds intense. What is it?
Oh man, Jenny, this is the good stuff. Especially for DeFi enthusiasts. Ease developed something called exponential liquidity. It's an automatic rebalancing system for liquidity pools that aims to eliminate what's called impermanent loss.
Impermanent loss? Sounds like something that happens when I try to cook without a recipe and just hope for the best.
Funny, but for DeFi, it's a real pain point. Essentially, liquidity providers can lose money when the price of tokens in a pool changes too much. So, if you put in a certain amount of two different tokens, and one token's value skyrockets or tanks compared to the other, you might end up with less total dollar value than if you had just held onto your tokens. EASE's system constantly rebalances tokens across all pools, aiming to minimize that loss and optimize rewards. It's designed to attract more liquidity and offer tighter spreads for traders, bringing more stability to DeFi within regulated environments.
So, making DeFi more predictable and safer for institutions? That tracks with their overall mission of bridging the traditional and crypto worlds. But, I have to ask, can any system truly eliminate impermanent loss? Some DeFi analysts are pretty skeptical that a solution can remove it completely, right?
That's a fair point, because you're dealing with market volatility. While EAC aims to mitigate and minimize it significantly through constant rebalancing, it's about reducing the time risk, not necessarily making it zero in every single market condition. The goal is to make it manageable enough for large institutions and governments to feel comfortable participating in DeFi, which is a different goal than for, say, a purely decentralized, permissionless protocol. They're making it more predictable, which is what these entities demand.
That distinction is crucial. So given all this, what do you see for the future of EA's protocol with Terpin at the helm? Where do they go from here?
Well, studies like those from McKinsey are already predicting that regulatory-first blockchains will dominate enterprise adoption by 2030. EA's protocol, with its focus on compliance, usability, and now Terpin's unparalleled influence, is perfectly positioned to become a dominant player in that space. He brings instant credibility and a network that can unlock doors many startups only dream of.
It sounds like they're ready to tackle the biggest hurdles to mass blockchain adoption, especially for the entities that truly need a system they can trust and that integrates with their existing frameworks. Governments and large enterprises absolutely need blockchain, and EA seems to be building the essential bridge.
Exactly. It's about making blockchain disappear into the background like the internet did. You don't think about the TCP/IP protocol when you browse the web. You just use it. EASE wants blockchain to be that seamless for critical applications. Their approach is less about creating a new, separate blockchain world, and more about integrating blockchain capabilities into the existing, regulated world.
Fascinating stuff, Mark. It's always amazing to see how the industry evolves to meet real-world needs, isn't it? Thanks for breaking down the complexities today.
Anytime, Jenny. This is the kind of innovation that truly gets me excited about the practical applications of this technology. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to Tech Unpacked. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll catch you next time for more insights into the future of technology. Bye for now.